MCX Stock Exchange, India's new stock exchange, presents Your Stocks.
Right now. Hi, Reema.
Hi, Samara. We've been talking about the markets, but we've, not addressed all our viewer queries for the last couple of days. So quickly, let's do that. Joining us on the show today to answer all your queries, we've got on the personal front, personal finance front, we've got Hemant Rustagi of Wiseinvest Advisors, and to answer all your stock queries, we've got Sharmila Joshi of Fearless Securities. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us.
So we have a caller who wants to know exactly that. Pooja Sharma calls in from Mumbai. Hi, Pooja.
Hi, Samara.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What do you want to know?
Actually, my query was, I have some 4-5 rupees lump sum and I want to invest in, I want a good wealth creation. So where should I put my money?
All right, that's $1 million question actually. But Hemant, let me ask you, she has 4 to 5 lakhs. It should be real estate or it should be FDs, but where does one put the money right now? Wealth creation is a primary objective, but let's start with wealth preservation first.
Yes, absolutely. I think I would say that, before making any investment decision, is absolutely necessary to look at certain factors. And these important factors are, one, you need to look at what is your time horizon. That is the period for which you want to remain invested. Second is, what is your existing portfolio mix? I mean, how much of your money is already invested in equity, gold, or real estate? And third is, you need to look at what your investment goals are. Now, for example, if the objective is to invest for the longer term, like, children education, their marriage, or retirement planning, I think primarily the focus has to be on an asset class like equity. Of course, there is also a space for, an investment option like public provident fund, and also say around 10 to 15% in gold. But like I said, the portfolio then has to be dominated by equity there, because you have a longer term horizon, even though equity tends to be volatile, and that's the kind of liquidity we are, volatility we are seeing today. But for someone who is investing as a lump sum, one I would like to also add is that by no means I'm saying that you cannot invest, lump sum, but also it's important to invest on a regular basis. Equity requires a combination of these two. So as I mentioned earlier, for a longer term, you can look at equities. There, some of the fund that you can look at is ICICI Focus Fund, which is a pure large cap fund, HDFC Equity or Reliance Equity Opportunity. But like I mentioned earlier, some part of it can go into debt, PPF, and also in gold. If the time horizon is a couple of years, in the current, scenario, I would say that you need to look at investment options which have the options, potential to give you higher return than what you can get from traditional options like fixed deposits or recurring deposits, and also the returns have to be tax efficient. So there are a few options available from mutual funds. You have, in the current scenario, fixed maturity plans which are akin to fixed deposit. Considering that the 10-year GSEC yield is somewhere around 870, I think it's a very good time to lock in your money at a higher yield. So FMPs are available for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years. My recommendation would be to go for 1 year as well as 2 year FMP. Because these are close-ended funds. If you do not want to lock in your money, then there are options available in the open-ended space also. There are short-term funds, and there are also income funds which follow accrual strategy. Now, some of the funds in this space that you can consider are Birla Short-Term Opportunity Fund, and also you can look at Reliance Regular Saving Fund, income fund that is, and also UTI Short-Term Fund. She also mentioned about real estate. Real estate definitely is a good option, but I think what you need to look at is how much money is available with you. With 4 to 5 lakh, I'm afraid you won't have too many options of investing in that space. The second important thing is that real estate tends to be long-term investment. So the key factor is obviously your time horizon, as to whether you have that much time or not. Third is, in the real estate, even though the potential is very, very high, the liquidity you need to compromise. So if you are going to be investing for a couple of years, I don't think real estate is the right option. So like I mentioned, you need to look at your time horizon. What is your existing portfolio mix that you have, and what kind of investment goals you want to achieve.
Hemant, just to add on to her question, if her time horizon is say long term, so then the common wisdom is to invest in equity markets. But right now, you also have an option to invest in tax-free bonds, the likes of an REC and PFC, and they're giving a pretty good yield. So, between these two options for the long term, where would you recommend, Pooja to invest her money in?
Well, certainly tax-saving bonds, tax-free bonds are definitely a good option on the debt space. That's where I had mentioned that PPF also can be. But the problem in PPF is that you cannot invest more than $1 lakh. So there definitely, on the debt side, definitely you can look at tax-free bonds. But my belief is that, if you want to invest for 15 years, and if these bonds are going to give you, let's say, around 8.5%, equity definitely has the potential to give you much higher return over a 15-year period. So I believe that for a long-term investor, the portfolio still has to be dominated by equities, and there is some portion which can go into debt option as well as in gold.
That's true. Actually, we've got a lot of the equity bulls also turning bearish. But let's get back to our callers. We have another caller who's standing by. Kiran Bhatia calls us from Mumbai. Hi, Kiran.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
हाँ, हमारा क्वेश्चन है कि हमको 5 लाख की फैमिली फ्लोटर पॉलिसी है और हम लोग लिमिट बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, तो कौन सी पॉलिसी ले? क्रिटिकल इलनेस पॉलिसी और हॉस्पिटल पॉलिसी?
Okay, Hemant, that's a very pertinent question actually, because not a lot of people are paying adequate attention to medical insurance. But now, for someone who wants to increase their cover, is it better to opt for critical illness, or should they just go for the general medical insurance plan?